Welcome to CTV's coverage of Press Cup 2014. Can tell you it's a glorious day here in Christchurch. Long overdue. We've had more rain than you'd ever want to see. So the weather gods have looked after us for Press Cup 2014. Really looking forward to it. My co-commentator Scott Cartwright. Scotty, just for those that have not seen Press Cup before, fill us in with the rules.
Well, Pete, it's a competition in the Crusaders rugby region. Everyone knows the Crusaders rugby region. There's 15 teams, 3 from the top of the south, Nelson College, Waimea and Marlborough. There's this one from the North Canterbury sub-union, and that's Rangiora High. There's the 7 metro teams here from Christchurch. Everyone knows who they are. And then from the Ellesmere competition or sub-union, there's Lincoln High, and then further south from Mid-Canterbury, Ashburton, and then Timaru and Roncalli from South Canterbury Union. So it encompasses all those unions and sub-unions involved in the Crusaders rugby.
Now, we've been determined over the years that we have been fortunate enough to do Press Cup that every single team in the competition will be on a match of the day. So if it's not your team this week, you can put money on it. It will come up as the team. The DVDs are available of the games. All you've got to do is just ring Marianne or get hold of Marianne for a DVD copy of the game. So let's just set the scene. Last year, breaking all tradition, the final wasn't held in Canterbury.
Only for the second time, Pete, and that's when Marlborough beat Nelson College. 2 possibly surprise finalists, and the other time it's gone out of Christchurch, Nelson beat St Bede's, and that was in 2005. So for 14 years, there's been names on the Press Cup. Boys High have got it 6 times, St Bede's have got it 6 times, Nelson and Marlborough once each.
Sorry to put the spot on you right at the start, because we haven't seen any of the teams yet, to be fair, so it's all new to us. Just a wee hint, who should we look for, do you think?
Well, Pete, it's hard to go past those 4 teams I've just mentioned. They've just got more depth in their overall squad. They seem to be able to cope with injuries a lot better. You know, they all get injuries. All these teams have got nice first 15 players, but the depth of squad determines how strong they are throughout the season.
And it also seems to be a bit cyclical, doesn't it? Like Marlborough was strong last year, doesn't necessarily mean they'll be strong this year.
You build up, don't you? As you build up a team, and you've got to start again somewhere, don't you, in this stage. But Pete, I just like the pride, the passion, the intensity, and the tradition that the Press Cup brings to schoolboy rugby.
And it all starts with the Harkers, I've got to tell you, and we will be featuring those right through the 18 weeks. We'll take you right through to the final in 2014. A new look this year too. We have a text competition for you. That is the magic word, okay? That will change every week. But if you want to win the Blackwell's prize pack, which I've got here, we'll do that on a weekly basis. All you have to do is text that word Malibu to 2326, okay, 2326. We'll bring it up right through the commentary for you. We will have a winner every week, and we'll announce that every week that we're doing Press Cup. Just a reminder, of course, they cost you 20 cents to text. So again, Malibu's the keyword this week. Text 2326. A little earlier on in the day, Scotty Cartwright had the chance to catch up with long-serving St Thomas's coach. He's been there right from when St Thomas's made it into the Press Cup. So let's hear from Scotty now about St Thomas's chances today.
Steve, how's the pre-season gone?
Yeah, it's been a very good pre-season. We've sort of broken it into 2 parts. We've done a lot of fitness and CrossFit training, trying to build up the strength in the boys, and they've been going since January. And more recently, we've gone through about 5 or 6 games of pre-season. So, yeah, it's been good. We're happy.
I believe a trip up north?
Yeah, we went up to Auckland. We played Takapuna Grammar over on the shore, and we had a very good win there. And we played St Peter's, who we went down to, but I think they're probably going to be one of the best ones in the country this year. So it was a good experience for the boys.
It's all rare to have pre-season games, but with pre-season games come injuries as well. How are you on that front?
Yeah, look, we are fairly injury struck. There are probably 7 to 8 boys unavailable for today's game. But the flip side to that is it does give a whole other group of young guys an opportunity to show us, what they've got at this level. So we're confident in the boys that'll be out there, and they'll be proud St Thomas's men when they run out there with their jersey on.
Steve, we know rugby is now a career path. And we were filming Press Cup up to 2 years ago, and even some of those players we saw then are semi-professional, professional rugby players. Is there anyone in St Thomas's team that we can look forward to a future of rugby?
Oh, look, I think there's a number of boys, and they'd all love to have a future as professional rugby players. I suppose from our point of view as a school, we still want to keep the core values of rugby at this level, about camaraderie, about fun, about enjoyment, about playing with their mates, because I do think that the professionalism of rugby has taken a lot of that away from these young guys. So that's sort of our main focus. And hey, if they make it in the long run, great. We'll be there to pat them on the back.
Now, I don't know who you've upset in the rugby union, but after today, you've got a draw from hell. You've got 4 very tough games in a row, haven't you?
Yeah, we do. We play Boys High on the Saturday, St Andrews on the Wednesday, and St Bede's on the Saturday, and then we go up to Blenheim to play Marlborough Boys. But hey, it's all about character, and it's all about young guys testing themselves, and we are going to be tested. But yeah, look, we're pretty confident the boys will go strong. Yeah.
Steve, good luck for today and for the rest of the 2014 season.
Cheers. Thank you very much. Cool.
Pictures today coming to you from St Thomas of Canterbury as they host Waimea from Nelson, and as you can see, it really is a postcard autumn day. Long overdue, huge amounts of rain here in Canterbury, so the ground will be heavy. No two ways about that, but at the moment all the lads will have the sun on their backs, and I'm sure the boys from Waimea will appreciate those conditions as we have a look at their team. Number 15 is Jackson Smith, 14 will be Pero Garden, Maloney soon will play at 11, Jaden Woolley at 13, Callum Whitten in 12, Vice-Captain Jacob Berthelsen will wear 10, Liam Neal will be the halfback. The captain will be the number 8 Sam Madden, big job for him today. 7 is Riley Hislop, Trent Inch will wear 6, and Matthew Schillick 4, they're the locking division, Hayden Brown 5. The front rowers, the guys that we'll be looking at closely, will be Logan Hewson in 3, Jake McLaughlin in 2, and 1 Storm Steer. Over now, let's have a look at St Thomas of Canterbury's team. Scotty.
The fullback is Marlo Tatalafua. The wings, Robert Wilson and James Beattie. Bradley Robertson and Moresby Paseta make up the midfield trio. A late replacement at number 10. Mahori has injured himself in the warm-up, and Harry Kirk will play in the 10 jersey. Matt Rambo at number 9. Tyler Good, George Gosling and Adrian Ells are the loose forward trio. Henry McManus and Isaiah McLeod are the locks. In the front row, Delane Duke, Tom Ballantyne, and the captain wearing number 1 jersey, Guy Hoskin.
Carl Johnson said, let's get it underway, and Vice-Captain Jacob Berthelsen, he will kick off the number 10. Kicks it down deep, nicely taken though at the back, waiting for it well, and just making a rumble up the middle there is Tyler Good, the number 8, for St Thomas's. All laid back, they'll be looking now to just clear this ball away if they can, and Harry Kirk coming in as a lace replacement, not an ideal build-up, huge hit made on the ball carrier, the ball taker there, and will it come back? It does, it comes back to Waimea, so they've done well to control that ball, huge hit made on the player there receiving it, and now they come forward again. Berthelsen kicks it deep. Does he find touch? But no need for that. The referee Johnson issues the first penalty of the afternoon, and it goes the way of Waimea. Perfect conditions, Scott. Still heavy underfoot. It's got to be with the amount of rain we've had.
Oh, but ground here at St Thomas's of St Canterbury College are perfect, Pete. They really are. They soak it up well, and no, ideal playing conditions.
Just that breeze, bottom left, top right, but it's just a zephyr, I've got to tell you. In fact, it's quite a blessing to have it, because it is quite a warm day here. Doesn't carve off acres of space on the far side there. Nice to see a female TJ on the far side. Scotty, you having a chat to her before the game?
Yep, of course. It's important. It's an important rise, and Pete, you know, you've had a son who's done touchline duties in first 15 rugby, and I know refereeing's a big, but also the touch judge side of thing, and we've got Cassie on the far side today, and Tim Brockett on this side. It's a learning curve for their refereeing experience as well.
No, they're loving it, I've got to tell you. And of course, there's always a shortage of referees, and it's great to see. I think we've got 2 now up the top, and we've got 2 female referees in Canterbury, which is great. Ball taken down, first line out of the day, taken down by St Thomas's. They get around him now. Waiting for the ball is a Redmond. Sorry, is Neil. And Neil gets the ball back. First time we've had a look at these players, so there will be a little bit of confusion. But now we've got it, and Neil gets away nicely this time, driving it down to the centre there to Woolley. he's held up there. And ball nicely recycled though. Nice chance for Liam Neal. And downtown we go. Another kick again. Good position there by the fullback. Is Jackson Smith. Waimea get in over this one. Sorry, that's Neil there, of course, for Waimea. We called that wrong. We're just getting to grips with it, really. But we know that that's James Beattie from St Thomas's that's got the ball, and he unloads nicely, trying to break ground. Fullback coming in to make the extra man. Now the ball just fired away. But well done again, and nicely taken there by Harry Kirk with first fire. Probably didn't expect to be that close in the play. And just a testing out arm wrestle really here, and the referee is going to give yet another penalty to Waimea.
Just holding on, guilty of holding on for too long. St Thomas is just a wee bit pedestrian. They're probably guilty at the moment, people what position they've had of trying to play too much rugby in their own half. You mentioned before when Willie took the penalty in the corner, didn't make much going, but it was mistake free. You want to do that earlier. All the practice games are now over. This is the real McCoy, and you just want to minimise your mistakes. And I think St Thomas is just a bit guilty of trying to play too much rugby in their own half. I think I was then early in the game. I'd be looking for a wee bit more territory down in the Waimea half and start playing your footy from there.
Interesting. We watched them in the warm-up, Scott, and their passing was brilliant, wasn't it, St Thomas's? And you made the comments pretty easy with no opposition. So yeah, it is different when you've got 15 lining up against you. But they look very slick in the passing, and they're obviously a side that wants to pass the ball. So first points in Press Cup on the line here for 2014, and it is the way of Waimea. And Jacob Berthelsen lines up, not a difficult kick, virtually straight in front, about the 22-metre mark. Round the corner he comes, and he slams that one between the sticks. He does. So first points on the board, and Waimea have it by way of a penalty to number 10. So they'll be delighted. They've travelled down here, and they've picked up the first points in our Press Cup coverage for 2014. Of course, games going on all around the region this weekend or today, and we'll keep you up to date with how they go. When we come back next week, we'll give you a run back on last week's round, and we'll tell you, of course, before we leave today, where we're off to next week. Don't forget the texting competition. It's a brand new thing, chance to win a Blackwells pack. And just did that ball stay in? Only just, yeah. So it's a texting competition, and we'd like to see you participate in that. It's a bit of fun, and every week we will give away a Blackwells prize pack. Line out to take place, the commentary side this time at St Thomas's ground, and to throw that ball in will be Tom Ballantyne. Down it comes nicely to Redburn. See, they look quite slick there. There's a lovely half break made by the centre three-quarter. Robertson did well. And now they stream on down into Waimea territory. They're putting some real pressure on Waimea's defence, and it's lacking, and it's a first try of the afternoon. Goes to number 14, Robert Wilson. So Robert Wilson scores for St Thomas of Canterbury. So a slick try. That was the sort of passing we talked about, Scott.
Absolutely, Pete, we were, and it was from the word go, from the throw in from the captain, Guy Hoskins, and interesting enough, the captain does the throwing in, but it was perfect. The line out was good, the passing was put in front of the players, a lovely break by Bradley Robertson, the midfielder, who's a strong run. He's a third-year player, Bradley Robertson, so he's experienced at this level, and there's just the passing was that good, and then he combined with his fullback, and then the winger outside him, Robert Wilson, and really, they made it look very easy, but it was a well-executed try.
They always had Waimea on the back foot, didn't they? They stretched them in defence, and yeah, really it was just a couple of passes and they just caught short in defence for Waimea. They'll need to look at that. But that very nice breezy opening stand. So the fullback takes the kick here. Tatalafua, number 15. So it's a bit wide out. Not too far though. Midway posts and touchline. Ideal conditions. I mean, the conditions not a factor at all. How's he striking? Lobs it up. I think he might have pushed it across though, has he? Yes, he has. So it'll remain unconverted. So 5 points to 3 it is, and we've had approximately 8 minutes of this game so far at St Thomas of Canterbury. 5-3 to the home team, St Thomas. And they'll be a little bit shaken by that, will Waimea. They got the first points, got the penalty on this board. They'll then just gave away a softish sort of a try. Taken down by Ballantyne this time. For St Thomas, back it comes to Radburn. Away it goes again, bringing the big fellas this time. Pesita, second 5'8". Just trying to clear it again. He does well there, Redmond. Nicely taken down there. Well done by Pyro Garden. And a little stab kick through. Who's at home in defence? Scrambling back there to get it. Here's Tita Fleur. And he's taken to ground. Now, this is a good position for Waimea here if they can really put the acid. If they can win this ball here. They're right under the sticks. Great position for them. Good play, Waimea. Good position here, Scott.
Well, yeah.
Oh, sorry, just to interrupt. This will be interesting. What are the calls now from the ref at this level, Scott, for a scrum? It's our first scrum of the year. Just see what he calls.
I think it's just Ben, bind. Yeah, Pete, there's a 3 call, isn't it now?
Yeah,
not four.
yeah.
Not 4.
Just have a listen, see if we can pick up the ref.
Bind. Sit.
So he gives the tap to the halfback to put it in, which is interesting. I think that's a silly move, but never mind, that's what they do. And they get it away quite well. And Kirk's got it this time, and he bangs it down just as far as the fullback, who's waiting at the back there, Jackson Smith. Flings it across, brings in his wing 3/4 Sione, and he kicks down to the corner, and he wants it to go in there. And it's too far, just too far. The idea was right. He wanted to carve off the territory, put it down in that corner, but just overcooked it.
Well, they've got 2 options here, of course, Pete. They can go back from where the kick was taken and have the scrum, or they can have the 22. So St Thomas's have decided that they will take the scrum. Midfield, pretty much on their 22, but a chance really to come this blind side, I guess, to gain a bit more territory, to get back into Waimea half. I mean, apart from scoring the try, they have not spent a second in the Waimea half at all. So just a chance to get that territory.
Pretty even pack, Scott, when you look at them, aren't they? Pretty even.
Bind.
Not a lot of height in either side, really. Now the tap will go on to the half-back. Redmond will be told to put it in, he does. Trying to trap it at the back, but good shove coming on here from Waimea, and they've turned it over. It's a tight head, so well done to them. They just put the weight on at the right time. So tight heads can still be achieved in secondary school rugby, which is great. Ball cleared away now to Berthelsen. Whitten. Ground. Cleared again. They get a penalty for their trouble. So well worked there, because they'd got themselves in a bit of a hole with kicking it out and having to come back for the scrum.
Good pressure by the whole 8 really of the White. Started at scrum time, and then they really just kept possession well and put the pressure on St Thomas's, kept possession, turned it over, and of course forced the mistake and the penalty by St Thomas's, which will give the first 5 Jacob Berthelsen the second opportunity of the game.
He's had 1 already from 1. This is his second attempt. 5-3 the score to the home side. Very well executed, taken try by St Thomas's to a penalty to Waimea. Now they've got a chance to take the lead. Vice captain Jacob Berthelsen for Waimea. And he strikes that pretty jolly well. He did. He turned straight away, didn't he? He knew he'd got it. So they take the lead back again. 2 penalty goals to 1 try. And Waimea, the visitors, are in front.
2 things we just should remind the viewers of, Pete. A, they're 35-minute halves in the Press Cup, whereas, of course, normal rugby or senior rugby is 40 minutes, but 35-minute halves, which means a 70-minute game. And that's always important to remember. Sometimes the referee fails to remember, but I'm sure the coaches don't.
Giving away a few penalties here, St Thomas's. I don't know that they've actually had a penalty, have they, St Thomas's? I think Waimea have had them all. But, and you said there were a couple of things to remember. What was the other one, Scott? You forgot them.
No, I just wish the scoreboard man had arrived in time, Pete. There's a lovely scoreboard in the far corner over there, and we can't expect our mate Oscar to do everything, but it's a perfect opportunity where we could have had the score on the board, but I guess they've just missed the boat there a wee bit.
Yep. I'm just looking at the corner of my eye here, and there's a man with a big box of tricks heading towards the scoreboard, so he might not have known it was a midday start. We'll give him the credit. Tap down, untidy ball there, but nicely recovered. Well done there by Redburn. He did well, because it was untidy ball tap from the top. Now it goes down the chain. Courtesy of Passetto, Robinson. Centre field set up. Robbed of the ball, Waimea. They've been very aggressive at breakdown. Yes, well drilled too. Well done. Prop forward comes away. Storm steer. Across they go. Number 6 has a bit of a go. Trent Inch. And he goes towards the line now. This is good play. Good concerted effort here from Waimea. They're throwing the kitchen sink at the moment. Open side flanker Riley Hislop goes through. Can they control this ball? Trying to push them off it. And yet another penalty.
No clear release.
Thomas's
No
going to
clear
pay.
Well, it's just constant pressure because
They're aggressive, aren't they?
Waimea, that's right. They're forcing the errors and they're putting the pressure on St Thomas's. And then at breakdown time, they get desperate to get their hands on the ball and they're getting penalised. And I think Kyle Johnson will probably have a wee talk with the St Thomas's captain.
I think it's happening as we speak, Scott. Yep, he's just moved into the group there.
To Guy Hosking and just say, listen, boy, there's just too many penalties, particularly in this. They're trying to slow it down and giving the opportunity yet again to Bethelson for his 3rd penalty.
This should be bread and butter. You'd be tempted to write it down. And, it comes off the post. It wasn't exactly sweet, but he'll take it anyway. 9 points to 5 it is now. Right in the far left-hand corner is the scoreboard. There we go. Better late than never, lads. Nice to see you here. Very flash scoreboard.
It is, and it was a shame that it wasn't used from the first points on the board, Pete.
9-5 it is, anyway, to the visitors, and
That's
that's
a
not
poor
the
kick.
best work
Yeah.
at all. That's a poor kick, not going the distance, so they'll come back. And this will suit Waimea. I think they like scrummaging. They've already taken one tight head.
Oh, they're just on the front foot, Pete, aren't they? They've just got St Thomas's really confused at the moment. They're not allowing them to settle into any pattern whatsoever. Apart from that one opportunity, very good try, but apart from that, it's been Waimea with ball in hand pretty much all the first 15 minutes of this game. But Pete, I admire Waimea. They're in this competition from originally in the year 2000. They've played every year. They've never been a star team. They've always struggled in the bottom 8 of the competition, but they've always fronted up. And with the lack of numbers, it hasn't been easy up there. They live in the shadow of Nelson College up in Nelson. They're the star team. But I really do admire their attitude, and they've hung on there for, as I say, since this competition started in 2000. They won the original teams. St Thomas's didn't come in till 04, I think, or maybe 4 years later. So they really are. They've just battled away, and they've produced some very good rugby players and who enhanced the Nelson competition. And one who comes to mind, of course, is Mike Coman. He was the Coman boys were great stalwarts of Waimea. They were in their first 15 for 3 or 4 years. Of course,
One played for Buller, one played for
Hawke's Bay, that's captaining the Hawke's Bay side, and he might go and been overseas
He's
now.
gone overseas, yeah.
But
Just picking up, there's got another penalty to Waimea, and they drive it down to the line out. So far too many costly errors and discipline problems, I think, here for St Thomas's at the moment. And now centre field, that's where they want to live, really, Waimea. They seem very keen on being there. And a wobbly old pass, but they get it away. Oh, and an untidy ball there. May have gone forward a bit, but it's allowed to play on, and Woolley goes forward. Centre 3/4. Looks good. They've got the ball again. Down the chain they go. They've got numbers out wide if they can get it quickly. Someone needs just to get that one pass. There they go. Still got one outside. Hooker there coming in, McLaughlin. And to the line they go. It was just short of the line. 5 out probably. Big drive on here, and they've got the defence a bit stretched here, St Thomas's. Waimea have really put the blowtorch on them here, and it's through good, hard endeavour. That's how they've got there. Nice layup ball to Hislop. Ball laid back. Still a chance here. Untidy ball. Got to go back. Berthrenson. Have they still got it?
still
They're
got
still there.
control.
Yep. They're good at that part of the game, that's for sure. Little stab kick over the top there by Sony this time. And it's come not so well for them, really, because it gives the Thomases a chance to break out. And just a half tackle made there, getting away on them. And just now kicking downfield. And the referee will say,
penalty to St Thomas.
hey, St Thomas's get a penalty, so they'll be relieved at that. And a chance to clear, find the touchline. This is the broadcasting side, one would think. Devil LaFleur's got the ball. He's got 15, so he'll be doing the kicking, I think.
They're just a wee bit direction. They don't seem to have a leader out there, St Thomas's. They're all sort of doing their own thing. But as I say, they've only spent minimum of time in the Waimea half. They haven't had their hands on the ball very often. They've just got to settle the game down, get some phases going. And here's another mistake, finding to find touch.
Disappointing. So only he's away. He's got the ball tucked under the wing and he's away. Off he goes. Downfield. Wilders here looking to link up. Finally find somebody, which is good. Taken through by the other winger, Pyra Garden. Nicely delivered back. They're very good at that phase of the play, you know. Very seldom do they lose control of the ball. Get a little bit sloppy in some of the passing, but that'll come, of course. First game of the season.
Yeah, timing. They do have a lot of pre-season games, but nothing like the real thing.
There's the drive over by St Thomas's. Nearly got away with it. Good work done there by the Waimea player. Did very well indeed. He's laid it back. They've got it again. So they get a chance now, this time, onto the left boot. Kicking deep, straight down to James Beattie. And he gets rid of it. And the ball put high, waiting for it is Sione. He takes it away. He's got a good pair of hands, that boy. Looks good. Gets the ball away now to Berthelsen. Berthelsen streams on down the park. Nice link inside. Good pass. Waiting on the inside to take that ball and set it up again.
Logan Newson. Good support by the prop.
McLaughlin, the hooker, takes it forward. This is where they're strong, and they've given away a penalty here. They'll be disappointed with that Waimea because they really had St Thomas on the back foot.
Yeah, they just lost possession and then hence gave away the penalty. But here it's very important that St Thomas's find touch and create their own line out and set a wee bit more of a platform because it's non-existent at the moment.
Looking for the line out. Malo Tatalafua. He bangs it down. He finds a good touch too. So, yeah, around about the halfway mark. And of course, it'll be St Thomas's throw to the line.
Expected behaviour from you, okay?
Goodly few spectators around too, Scott, today. Why wouldn't you? I think the chance to be out in the sun's probably more attractive than watching the rugby. Beautiful afternoon here. Can't complain about today. Just juggling in the line out, throws it long this time, taken well out the back, down nicely, probably by Gosling, I think, on the break there.
It's the captain, Guy Hoskin.
Yep. So the penalty count started here. It's just starting to even up a bit, isn't it?
But it's not reflected in territory at all, Peters. That's the problem. Yeah, St Thomas is yet again struggling, and this really, if it all going well, finds touch, will find them in the Waimea half. But one of the very few excursions that have been achieved in the first 20 minutes of this first half.
So down to touch, Tim Brockett. Yep, he says that's where it's going to go out, and it will be throw. This is the broadcasting side here at St Thomas of Canterbury's ground, which I've got to say is in a lovely nick, really. Line out throw to St Thomas's. It'll be in Jack McLaughlin's hands. Is it or not? No, I don't think it is.
No, it's the hooker who throws the prop. Guy Hoskin, the captain, who throws the ball to Pete.
So there we go. Smashed up, taken by Waimea, so they did well there. That was Hayden Brown that took that forward, did well. Locked forward, just a wee bobble there, but managed to get the ball away. Now they look to stretch St Thomas's if they can. They've come right across the field. Someone needed to perhaps just straighten it up a little bit for them now. And yeah, they're prepared to have a go. Captain Sam Madden. To the boot goes Maloney Soam.
Yeah, I just thought he would have been better to keep that in hand. Pete, he had numbers outside him. He was running out of room.
He's come all the way back too because he kicked out on the full.
Yeah, that's right. And I just think Maloney Soam, who's a strong runner, I just think he would have been better either to take it into contact or to keep it in hand. It just wasn't the best option by Maloney at that stage.
That's a fine cap.
Line out throw. Hoskin. Down it goes, nicely taken. They've got it right this time. Last time they just threw it a little bit off. Now they get the chance just to drive it up a little bit. Short stuff, no frills, out, up one. Cleared this time though, an opportunity here for Kirk. And darting back at that inside. Quite an experienced player, isn't he?
Talalafua. He wants to get his hands on the
He
ball.
does, wants to get busy.
You might be better off. Surprised they probably didn't bring him at first 5 after that last late replacement, Pete. He just seems to want to get his hands on the ball.
Instead of that, Harry Kirk got the 10 shirt. Back he comes. That's him now with the ball in hand. He goes up the centre. Drop to the ground.
Use it.
It's back there nicely for St Thomas's. They've got a chance here. This is the first real crack at the territory they've had since they scored their tries. So they've got a chance now to try and make something out of this if they can. Now, centre field, option both ways. Picked up nicely by Radburn. Find it hard to make much impression here and trying to turn it over.
Too slow getting out of here.
Illegally, says the referee,
No way.
Mr. Johnson. So just
Shot called?
not too sure there.
Shot called.
So they will have a shot at goal. Scotty and I will be keeping an eye out for the player of the day. We'll be talking to the player of the day that we choose here today. And it won't necessarily come from the winning side. It's someone who's had an impact on the game. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. You might like to have a think about your own player of the day as you watch this coverage. Don't forget the texting competition as well. You can be part of it. A Blackwell's prize pack available every week. All you've got to do is text the magic word. Malibu is the word today. So, Tatalafua looking for a valuable 3 points if he could get it. Remember, it's 9-5 at the moment. Important kick. He slams that and it'll go through, so he does get it. So, very good. They are now closed it up to a 1 point ball game. 9-8 it is, and we've had just on 25 minutes.
Yes, St Thomas's would be pleased with that, Pete, because they really haven't been in the game. The twice they've gone in really into their 22, they've scored points, and apart from that, territory-wise, it's all been Waimea. But maybe they've just borne the brunt of that pressure that Waimea have given them. And as you say, with those 3 penalties quickly turned around, on the back of those 3 penalties, they've got a bit more territory into their game.
Well done to Harry Kirk. He spotted a gap down on that corner, far side of the field. No one at home for Waimea, and he just must have put that out on the field. He's come well back.
Yes, he did. But it's a jersey change just for St Thomas's, not a player change. Number 16 on the field is Isaiah McLeod for St Thomas's. It's just a jersey change. They seem to happen to props and locks and people these days. So if there's any confusion, number 16 on the field is Isaiah McLeod, who did start the game.
And he's wearing what number?
He's wearing 16 jersey.
But he is at lock.
He is at lock.
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
No, just,
That's all right. So he's the same player, just a different jersey. Might have needed a slightly bigger one. Isaiah McLeod. Anyway, back to the action. You remember a 1 point ball game? Closing in on half time.
Make sure you guys are pushing straight. When he's coming around, okay?
Big thrill to get that first game under your belt, has got, isn't it? Start of a season. It's always a few nerves and are we fit? Are we ready? Are we okay?
Well, you don't win or lose a competition of the Press Cup in the first game, but in saying that, it is nice to get that first win under your, particularly with St Thomas's with their hard row to hoe in the next 4 games.
Yeah, talk us through the pain there.
I mean, I don't know who they've abused in the rugby union or whatever it may be, but there's 4 games in the next 2 weeks, and amongst those they play St Bede's, they play St Andrews, they play Boys High, and they play Marlborough Boys, the playing through champions. I mean, 4 games in 14 days like that, it's hard yakka.
It's a road to hell, really, isn't it?
Well, it is, but that's more important that they get some points on the board.
Conversely, from Waimea's point of view, if they can pick up points away from home, I mean, they're gold, aren't they?
Well, Pete, it's like Crusaders, it's a Super 15 competition. Any win away from home is like gold.
So now just a bobbly old ball there goes to Woolley, and he gives the ball away to Sione, and he's looked very sharp today. He's had good hands. Don't think he's dropped one all day, the winger. And they look for the safety of the touchline. Don't find it, do they? Yes, they do. So
just a bit scrambly. It's scrambled into touch. So
looks quite good though, Maloney Sione, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. He's a powerful runner.
Good hands. Tries to make ground every time, which is a winger's job, of course, which is good.
But he's looking, Pete, he's a good build for a winger.
He's not a bad-looking lad, really. Not terribly tall, but he's
Yeah.
Pretty
Well
solid.
set, yeah.
If you'll set the mark here.
So a lot of these,
that is
because a
not
lot of
up.
these lads we've never seen
Yeah.
before.
Okay, let's keep that the rest.
And they'll be looking to build careers. There's opportunities for them now, of course, within franchises, academies.
Well-
There's a golden opportunity now to be a full-time footy player. And just getting harassed here, but getting away nicely, good skills. And just time even to kick, which is good. And it's missed completely. We're just singing the praises of that man, but he's no harm done. They've gone back and got it okay, but touch might be the problem, is it? No, they've kept it in, so that's good. And it goes to Berthelson, and he'll kick downfield where there's no one at home, but has he kicked it too far? Will it go over the dead ball line? Yes, it will. And they will come all their way back.
They'll come back to nearly the halfway, you'd have to think from that. Just needed a wee bit more angle on that kick. It just a wee bit went down more downtown than he hoped.
He'd spotted no one
yes,
home, but
yes,
he just overcooked it. And
The-
up he comes the referee,
Yeah.
Cal Johnson.
The idea was right, but the execution just wasn't quite there. But just going back to your point, Pete, about rugby being a career path, it was only 2 years ago since we've been doing the Press Cup since last time. Now, we remember some of those players we were watching then 2 years ago who have made the New Zealand under-20 side this year. You've got Damien McKenzie and Richie Monga, James Tucker, and little Nert Brown from Christchurch Boys High. We were watching them play the Press Cup just 2 years ago, and now they're virtually full-time rugby players.
And a chance to play a World Cup at home. Yeah, great opportunity. Isn't it?
So it is important that performances are on the field weekly. You know, there's always selectors out there ready to tap someone on the shoulder.
Plus, they've been part of a highly successful IGM Cup campaign from Canterbury, winning 6 titles in a row. So, no, there's a golden opportunity. Here's a golden opportunity too for Tuta Lefleur. He's made the breakthrough there. Looks dangerous out on that flank. That's where they scored their only try. And nicely fed it back in, this time from Robertson. And set again, driving forward here.
So Thomas
Might have got it though, Waimea,
Yeah,
I think. Turnover time.
just about to say St Thomas's would love some points just before half-time, Pete, and go to the lead with a half-time, lead, because it probably would be against the run of play. But if they can just score some more points before half-time, it would be a real fillip for them.
Good tackle made on James Beattie there. And now we watch the referee. We're having a close look at him. Might have about 3 minutes to go, I would think, in this the first half. Very, very tight encounter, of course. Only the one try, 9 points to 8 to the visitors. And you did right. I mean, you'd want to deny them getting points again if you're Waimea. St Thomas's would love some. Tap down. Well taken there, done by Logan Hewson. Down the chain it comes again. Interesting, the centre playing. See the centre playing there, Woodley playing at first 5. And now they kick it deep. Back to Tuta Lefleur. The crowd laid back nicely. Opportunity here to get it. How's the backline formation of St Thomas's? They're getting there now. Turns it over and it comes to Waimea. They've been very strong in that area.
Yeah,
Waimea. They've loved it.
Well, they've counter-rucked very well. They've seen it, taken every opportunity when they've seen the ball there to blow over the top of it. And St Thomas's have probably been a wee bit guilty of not getting enough numbers there. And so the strength of Waimea, getting just a few more players there, and their counter-rucking's been strong.
Fair to say too, Scott, that they are quite a unit, aren't they, Waimea, when they go in looking for that ball. And that really has put some pressure on St Thomas's pack. Let's get the scrum organised here. Your thoughts on the telling of the halfback when to put it in, Scott?
No, well, I don't quite agree with it, Pete. I think it's got better for, just looking at the Super Rugby. I don't think it's quite as pronounced now as it was at the beginning of the Super 14 this season at that level. I just don't see how it's just put so much pressure on the hookers.
And away come Waimea, and this is a lovely run down here. He's got away with it, the fullback, and he's done very well indeed, Jackson Smith, but then the ball...
Yeah, I think you're going to find he was a wee bit unlucky, Tuatafua, because he was the last line of defence and he was deemed to deliberately knock the ball on, and that final transfer...
Here's a replay.
So here we see it here.
Nice run for the
lovely-
fullback, though.
Lovely run by Jackson Smith, and he got just outside his man.
Beat his man.
And here we just see Tuifulu just coming in. It really was that one inside pass to Sione was on the
Sydney or the bush runner, he had
absolutely.
to. Yeah, and he gets pinged for
But
it.
as a consequence, Waimea haven't kicked for goal. They're going to form, where it was penalty, they just decided to go for the line out just inside the St Thomas's 22 and have a last gasp effort before half-time to add to their 9 points.
Down the line they go. They've got to secure the ball here. And, well, they did via St
Double
Thomas's.
knock on, first by Green,
It's been
then by Blue.
knocked on both ways, and we'll have a scrum to St Thomas's.
Be disappointed now that they probably
should have
didn't
taken the
take the
shot.
3 points
Yeah.
because the execution has to be better than that. They've got to have the confidence to get the ball in hand. Probably would have been better to throw it a bit shorter.
Just because I think, why would you go right down the back, Scott? You
Well-
expose yourself to risk.
Well, you're making it a 50-50 ball, aren't you? The longer the ball's in the air for going down the line, it can be grabbed by many pairs of hands, and just short and sharp and gain possession and go from there.
Sit.
Feed in.
Good scrum.
Good
by
scrum. Yeah,
Waimea.
Waimea, they put the pressure on, don't they? Every time. It's willing. And they've got to make their tackles, though, Waimea here. That's the fullback enough to get involved. Malo Tuifulu, and
Wingers
kicked
on.
away this time by Kirk. He's going right across the field. It sits up, though, a little unfortunately for him. It could have actually rolled away. Jackson Smith getting a bit of attention here. He's sort of the Lone Ranger. But he managed to wait long enough anyway for the halfback to get there, Neil. And downtown they go. And slowly going back to get the ball there. Doesn't seem to be under a great deal of pressure.
Well, they're a
Hey,
bit
come on, Blue.
worried here because Tuifulu is down here, Pete, where he would have been back in his normal fullback position. Well, not so normal because he likes to stand pretty flat, but he looks like he's got an ankle injury, and they could well do without this happening to probably one of their main playmakers.
So they're one short at the back, yes. And yeah, it just seemed a little bit back at those. In the end, Bradley Robertson found touch. And so it's a Waimea throw coming up to the tick of half-time.
with one less in defence for St Thomas's. So
Oh, and a knock through there by the arms out. I think it'll be a penalty here. It seemed to be a deliberate knock on to me by St Thomas's. Referee's letting it go at this stage. And Waimea still have the ball. That's probably part of the reason. Any advantage is waiting to see if it'll come. I think he might say advantage over him. A little dab round there by Liam Neal. Getting it over it. See, they still get it back, even though they're a wee bit short on numbers at times. But they're just enough of a unit. Got some feet here. Yeah, very nicely. Right goes to Sione again. Back to fullback Smith. Bit of a hospital pass, really. He was a bit monster. But just got to keep this shape here, Waimea.
some of the Waimea option taking hasn't been flashed. They've been lucky to retain possession. And
That's through the good work of the forwards.
well,
you'd have
that's
to
right,
say.
but I don't know if this is the wisest thing either. They're just kicking away too much ball.
Watching the referee, he says,
Half time. I
he said
think you're
half-time,
fine.
didn't he?
Yes.
yes, it did. So half-time. So it's a 1 point ball game, I've got to tell you, and it's 9 points to 8 to the visitor. Only the sole try, and that try went to St Thomas's, the home team. Second half to get underway in brilliant conditions here at St Thomas of Canterbury's ground, and a very tight game. The visitors up by 1, 9 points to 8. They've had their 5-minute half time, which is interesting. We had to be reminded of that as we thought we might wander off and get a sausage or something, but no, they only have 5 minutes here, 35-minute halves and a 5-minute half time. So we're back in action here, and on their own line are Waimea deciding to run the ball, and then the kick downfield, wide out by Waimea. They're ahead by 1. Nicely towed at the back, and obviously his ankle has improved.
It
Tuifulu.
may have just taken a bit of a hammering then because he got ankle tapped.
Because he was down on the ground there for a while getting it strapped, so the half-time break they may have given him a bit of attention. Much better ball control here from St Thomas. They've put it to ground, gone in and won it, because that's been the area that they've really been poor at.
Yeah.
Or that's wrong. That's where Waimea have been very strong. That's probably a fairer way of
Well,
saying it.
they've left the ball exposed for Waimea to attack. That's
Yep.
been the problem. They haven't really protected it.
But St Thomas have looked more like a unit at
Yeah.
the breakdown now than they did earlier on, so good on them. That's obviously come up at half-time. I would say that Steve Hart would have given them a bit of a grilling about that. Now the kick forward, I wouldn't have done. Oops. Well, they may have had advantage, to be fair, so they're going to come all the way back for an advantage.
Well, if they were playing advantage, there's even more reason probably to keep the ball in hand, Pete, I would have thought. So,
Scotty, that's too logical.
but early penalty attempt here, you would have thought for...
It's a fair old push.
Yeah, he hits the ball pretty sweetly, Tata Lafua, and even though he might have a sore ankle, he early minutes of the second half will give St Thomas's a chance to take the lead.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting test for him here, Scott. May just stretch him enough, I think. Especially if that ankle's not right. It's how you plant the foot. You always go on about that, Scott.
It's it was his right foot,
Right foot, yeah.
I think, which
Was.
was injured, wasn't it? So and it's got to be in all the action. But yeah, that's probably the end of his range. It's about a 40-metre kick, which is a good blow. It's important that St Thomas has chased this because it will hang up in the air a wee bit.
Very good condition,
And,
Scott, though, isn't it? I mean, it's no real difficulty for him. He might get a wee bit of assistance for a breeze.
Yeah, and one criticism, I'd have some St Thomas's player on this right wing here to cover any clearing kick that might not find touch, but no one's covering this wing, but it's important that there are chasers on the ball.
So if it hangs up, they may capitalise. If it goes over, they'll be delighted. And so they should be. What an excellent, excellent kick by number 15. Penalty goal, and that gets them the lead back. That was an excellent kick. 11 points to 9.
Well, a great fillip just after half-time, Pete. 2 minutes gone into the second half, and they have now taken the lead. And almost as a spring in their step, just looking at
Well,
them.
it's just because I think you can thank the forward pack a bit there, because they suddenly decided that the way to beat Waimea at the breakdown is to actually get in there as a unit.
Yeah.
Obviously, they've been told at half-time.
just committing more numbers to it.
There's the ball now for them. Back it comes now. Now it gives them a chance to run onto the ball. And what a lovely break by Bradley Robertson. Beautiful break. Brought down for him. He's got the ball away, has he? And just down and into touch. But lovely, lovely run. We might see that again. Bradley Robertson, he was given some space and some time to take it.
He ran onto the ball at pace as
Look at
well,
this. Here
and
he
very
goes.
quick, and then had the vision to look wide. Could have possibly drifted a wee bit forward. You had James Beattie out there on the left wing, but just went into touch.
Lovely to see backs running
yeah,
like
it
that.
is.
That's first 15 rugby, isn't it? They'll be just a little rattled here. They really haven't bounced out of the blocks in the second half. They've been on the back foot a bit. And now they just decide to run it this time. They're going to run their way out of trouble, are they? On to the right boot and downfield. Fullback out of position here. Well, in fact, there's no fullback. He's going back for it now, but he was out of position a little bit. He'll be hoping that goes into touch, and it did. But good play by Waimea. Brings them back up into the game.
Excellent play by Waimea to get them good territory early in the second half, deep into St Thomas's. They cleared, they had extra numbers out wide, and Pyra Gardner just recognised the fact no one was home and behind, put his right foot to it, stayed in play, put a lot of pressure on St Thomas's, and the ball did just happen to float out, which will give St Thomas's the throw, but yeah, good play, good vision by Waimea.
So an opportunity if they could spoil the throw, but they don't. St Thomas's do well to take it down. Now they just grab across field a little bit. Just getting set, really. And they'll be looking probably for Harry Kirk in the pocket to clear this one for them. Got to get the ball first, though. And they do. They've got it now. They give it back to Kirk. Kirk boots it downfield. Makes a bit of ground. Of course, gives away the throw. Throw to Waimea now. Important throw for them, too.
Just thinking about that 5 minutes at half-time, Pete, funny little things to think about. I suppose in those other games, it takes them 5 minutes to get off the field and back on again. They go under the stand, they go, it seems to be a long time, doesn't it?
Well, it probably takes 5 minutes to get all the hangers-on off.
That's right.
God, there's an army come on.
And get them all in the shed as well. But this one, the first 15, they stay on the field.
Yeah, which is great.
So, yeah, it's probably about the same length of break, you'd have to say.
Liam Neal gets the ball away, gives it away to Berthelson. Berthelson up the guts he goes. Nice run here, nicely linked up to 2 by Riley Hislop, number 7, did well here. Now they've got the pump under St Thomas's here. Can they actually capitalise on it? They give it to Hewson, the prop forward. He goes forward. They should get this. They've been good at recycling the ball, have Waimea. St Thomas are trying to block it, but they don't. They get it away okay. Now they've taken some shape here. This is quite a good move, and then a huge hit made on centre 3/4 Woodley. He's dropped to the ground, and the ball has been spilt, knock on. So a very, very good piece of defence there on 13, Jaden Woolley. He had to be made, the tackle had to be made, and it was made.
Yeah, I think you'll find that was Bradley Robinson. The experience of Bradley Robinson went into the tackle, ball and all, summed it up very quickly,
Boom. Yep.
and then that just created the turnover. Waimea looking dangerous again. It's going in fits and starts, isn't it, Pete? They're just
They each get a turn.
Yeah, just when a team look to dominate, the opposition come back at them. It's a real ebb and flow game.
It certainly is. Just watching Steve Harp past us there. Gosh, he's had a long involvement, Scott, hasn't he, with the...
Well, as we go through some of the schools this year, Pete, we'll find some coaches and managers who have been around for a long time.
Hopefully we'll see some new ones as well. On the left boot this time. Bit of an aimless kick, really, you'd have to say, but centre fielder Smith got it.
Well, it was territory. It got them out of their troublesome area.
Now they're going to cash in on it.
Yeah, that's right.
A wee looky there from the winger, and that was Pyroguarding, and he won't be happy with that. Knock on, advantage now, St Thomas's.
Well, it got what turned to be a wee bit of an aimless kick turned into a good kick by St Thomas's. They had the advantage, and then 50 metres downfield, they'll get ball into the scrum, their advantage. Now, Pete, at half time I did just check with the referee. The call at scrum time is crouch, bind, and set. So it's a 3 call, but there's a non-verbal contact with the halfback to put the ball in. So it's either a raising of the eyebrows or a tap on the bottom or something like that. But it's a non-verbal call, so you can't hear it from within the scrum.
Okay. So if we remember a struggling broadcasting company like CBS, that would help us, wouldn't it?
Yeah, something
Crouch,
like yes.
bind, set. Yeah, okay, we've got it. CBS. Right, and a lovely lay-up ball there too to Lafua, but they've broken back again, have Waimea, and now they're scampering back in defence. St Thomas's just being stretched a little, held up nicely there too was James Beattie.
No, play on.
Waimea would love this ball if they could get it. It's a real old scrap for it, but St Thomas's do have it. Waimea would have loved that then because they had them on the ropes a bit. St Thomas's, they're scrambling back from attack to defence. But good play here by St Thomas's. They're grinding it out, playing a lot better as a forward pack in the second half. Whoever said what, it's sunk in. But they have to be a unit and they have to work hard. Now it goes on to Kirk's foot, and downfield he goes. Waiting back there is Smith. Takes it with plenty of time. He should get a good clearance in here, and he does. Finds touch. Does 15 Jackson Smith. He's looked quite sound at the back, actually. Jackson Smith all day. Yeah.
The second half's pretty frantic, isn't it? It's up and down the paddock. There haven't been many stops for set play. Very few scrums line out. It might be a battle of the fitness early on in the season. Who's done the best pre-season work? Who's put the effort in the off-season? Because it wouldn't surprise me. And they're going as a wee bit heavier than what they've been used to early on in the season.
Well, yeah, probably not, Scott. I mean, it's a team with rain in March, team with rain in April. So
I was thinking about Waimea, Pete. Oh, it's probably been pretty wet up there.
I think everybody's had a fair old top of it.
And of course, Waimea were down playing here at the Easter tournament, Boys High, and of course we know what the weather was like over Easter in Christchurch.
So, scrum goes down, and the call will be CBS, Scott, will it?
CBS.
Crouch, bind, set.
And then there'll just be some tap on the shoulder or tap on the halfback. You'll see Kyle Johnson. Or it's just well, it's meant to be non-verbal, is what.
Here's the tap. You saw it there. Okay. Trapped at the back here, and a wheeling scrum by St Thomas is trying to spoil the ball for Waimea.
Just a wee knock on there, wee error.
Yes, and hand out, and now a chance to break away. Showing this pace again. He's got some pace too. There's that boy, Garden. We're seeing him on this side for a change. And nicely linked up there with Inch. And Inch will go for the try, surely, and he gets it. Number 6, Trent Inch. Second try, Waimea. Well done. Good work, well played. Good momentum there, wasn't
It was a good breakout, and it came from a St Thomas's knock on. They had a
Here we
chance
go.
just to get the ball in their hands. They didn't, and then Garden came wide and held on to possession, just broke those tackles. Momentum kept on going.
Stayed with him
and
well,
then,
Inch.
like a true good blindside flanker who had come up on the left-hand side of him from the scrum, Trent Inch, and he'll get obviously his first try of the 2014 season, and Waimere's first of the day.
Yep, so we've had 2 tries in the game, 1 to St Thomas's very early on in the first half, and now back come Waimea with a try, and that was very, very good support play. And to number 6, well done, Trent Inch, and who knows, we may see a boy like that turn up somewhere around the traps. That's the beauty of Press Cup. This is the nursery. This is where they are groomed. This is where the agents and the spies keep an eye on them. Number 10 now is the Vice Captain Burtonsley, and he has missed it. So they just get a 5 there. So that will take them to 14, and 11 points to 14 it is. Let's keep an eye on the times. Yep, no, they've got plenty of time still to play.
Interesting to see how they react to that.
I think it's pretty important that they actually put their stamp on it pretty early on here now too, and they may get a scrum here, have they? Was there a knock on or not?
I think it came off the knee, but it was bad play by Waimea to let that ball bounce. They didn't take possession of that, didn't take authoritative possession of that at all from kick-off, as they get a penalty anyway. But
Got away a bit lightly there, I think.
From the side.
it's a lot of teams at the kick-off, Pete. Whiners have a lot of times they let themselves down. They've just scored points, and there's not enough urgency to get that ball in their hands again. You see it very often.
And to be fair, it happens at a higher
Yeah,
level than Press
absolutely.
Cup, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
You would think that would be one thing that they would practice. Is it out? Looking into the sun's just a little bit tricky there for Robert
But
Wilson.
yet again, just those little basic errors that both teams have been guilty of. St Thomas in the first half, and now Waimea. I mean, that's just bad. Not finding touch from penalties.
Yeah, here's the setter going to try and cash in on that, and that's Bradley Robertson.
Play on.
Just left behind though. Don't enough though to claim it. So they get a chance again to have another go. This time it's Luke. Prop forward, number 3. He goes forward with it. And they put money up. They should get this back, St Thomas's. Could be my loss. First loss of the season, Scott. Oh, gosh, I'm going broke. Never mind. And now trying to capitalise on this is Waimea. So it's ebbed and flowed, the game, that's for sure. Perhaps not the greatest game you'd ever remember, but both sides have been very willing.
Defence has been strong by both sides, Pete.
Very willing.
Yes.
I'm pleased at the revival of the St Thomas's forward pack. They've played a lot better in the second half and have really made a contest of it, which is good. There's a wee bit one-sided at the breakdowns in the first half too, Waimea. That's nice passing, slick stuff. Finding them in nicely here. And they look at just a wee bit fuller running here, Waimea. Far side of the field. Good passing, hand to hand, no drop ball. Someone needs to straighten this a little bit. They do. Foot to the floor. Nicely done by the open side flanker, Hislop. And he's away.
And Trent again.
He's going to get his second. This boy's on the way to being an All Black.
Scores a brace of tries within 5 minutes.
Number 6,
and-
Trent Bridge.
But also excellent, good interplay by the loose forward trio, wasn't it?
Here's the break. That's crucial.
Yeah,
that's the number 7.
That's Riley
takes it.
Hislop.
Yeah.
And then yet again, it's the support play. Knows he's there, makes the call. He's got a big rangy lad, isn't he? Got big long stride, and fullback Tualafuga had no chance whatsoever. And Trentich scores his second try of the 2014 Press Cup season, 5 minutes or 3 minutes after his first.
Tell you what I did like too was the absolute belief by the open side flanker Riley Hislop that Trent Inch was going to be there. I don't think he even looked. He just knew instinctively the man would be there, as he was in the first try he got.
Good team play.
Good backing up, good support play. So now the chance, Jacob Berthelsen to add the vital couple of points if he can. How crucial those 2 tries be. Bang, bang. It's a real sting factor, isn't it?
Well, it is. We wondered how they're going to react in the first one, and
Ooh, not
Berthelsen
his
just
best work.
hasn't got his
No.
kicking boots on since the first 3 penalties that he kicked quite easily in the first half. But
19-11. Yeah, 19-11, and that's a very healthy position to be in as the visitors
Well,
here.
as it's a game that we said has ebbed and flowed quite a bit, it's important St Thomas's now must be the next team to score. They've got to get something on the board after that 5-minute spell where Waimea have scored twice.
Might have a player coming off here for St Thomas's too, I think, Scott. I'll keep an eye. You keep the call going and I'll keep an eye on this side. I think it may be the fullback.
Well, 18's also on the field
Tulafu.
for St Thomas's as well, Pete. He's come on, and Tulafu's still out the back there. And another change that did happen at half-time, which we didn't quite pick up, was Maloney Sione, who had a very strong first half. He got replaced by number 22, Logan Lawson, on the right wing.
Delaney Luke is off, Scott, number 3 for St Thomas's. We'll try and pick up the replacement.
I think
for
you'll
you.
find that's number 18, and that is Duncan Roberts.
Fine, charge down.
Roberts.
So I think you'll find it's number 18.
All right. Here's Waimea again. They're keen on the task at the moment, aren't they? Getting a rev up with a chainsaw in the background. And now this is where they came from last time.
they're
Actually,
getting-
they just needed the break
Well,
made again, and he half made it. He did pretty well, and now they're going to capitalise, are they? Keep an eye on number 6. Trent Inch, where's he?
6 out.
He won't be too far away, I wouldn't think.
He's just sitting in behind the first
Yes, he
five.
is.
It's just as they and
Oh, now trouble here. Let's listen to the ref, because I think there's going to be a bit of a talking to. Let's have a listen, see if we can pick him up.
He's come in the side there.
Yeah.
There's 3 now
Who's he
on the
want to talk to?
sides. First we had 16, now we've got this guy.
he's
I don't want to see
talking to
any
the
more,
captain,
okay?
number 1, of course,
Thank you.
Guy Hoskin. And I think it just might be about the number 8, Tyler Good. Just at the breakdown.
No, didn't go to
Coming
the
in,
pocket.
just coming in from the wrong side.
Options?
He left the pocket alone, so that's good. So we're still 15-15. So centre 3/4, Jaden Willie now will look for the touchline. For Waimea, and he finds a good touch too. He's driven them right down to the attack zone. They'll have the line-out throw. We wouldn't go too long on the throw, I wouldn't think, Scott, would we? We'd just try and keep it a bit simple.
No, not too long, but they're getting themselves organised, getting there, and that's the important thing. That they all know what's on. I see number 18 on the field for Waimea.
Yep.
That's Jeremy Lorden.
He's coming to the forward pack somewhere. He's a tall
Yes.
lad. I tend to think Lock probably. We'll
And,
try and pick
and
that up.
also
Fives there.
and also number 16, Villamai
Zero down.
Anisi has come on to prop. So they've gone to the bench, Waimea, got some fresh legs on there.
Matthew Shellock's gone, Scott, and he's replaced by Jeremy Loden.
Well taken by Waimea. Now they can control this. Very hard to stop if they get the rumbling more going. They've got it
They've
in
got
the
it
van.
now. There it is at the back, held nicely at the back
Of
too.
course, there's nothing St Thomas's can do.
No.
They've just got to
They're
get
not
in
gonna
and get
split.
low.
They go to the
that's a
line,
good
and
try.
referee says that's a try. And number 7 will get the credit, I'm sure of that. Riley Hislop. He seemed to be the boy that was that excited, threw the ball in the air.
Absolutely, and it was perfectly executed from the drive. There was no holes. There was nowhere for St Thomas's to come through. We'll see.
They held together well,
Yeah, they
didn't
did. And as I say, it's very hard to stop. Done it right.
Can't
and,
stop
and
it.
here's the ball, and that's Riley Hislop in the back, in the boot we call it, and he's just under control, but just
Boom.
inching forward. Sees that white chalk.
The arm goes up.
Gets it on, and the third try for Waimea today is scored by number 7, Riley Hislop.
So now the game changes, Scott, is a bonus point to chase.
Absolutely.
You know, it's a change from just getting the win. Now we want the bonus point. Away on the road would be a huge boost for Waimea. Scotty's already referred to it. They're not real breakers in the competition, but gee whiz, if they could start with a bonus point try on the road, they'd be delighted.
I believe they've never beaten St Thomas's here at St Thomas's home ground, Pete. So
Another milestone. How's this kick? Not too badly. Not too badly at all. So we'll take that one. And that's a converted try. So we go 26 points to 11. And suddenly, the game's changed dramatically, hasn't it?
Oh, very much so. It was in that first 5 minutes of the second half. It was all St Thomas's, and so what they've seemed to have created, Waimea, they've now drifted their attack out wider. Instead of a one-off, two-off, they're getting the big fellas, the athletic guys running through the centre, and that's paying huge dividends for them.
So pressure time now, St Thomas's. They're at home, but that's really just not working for them quite at the moment. They have improved in the second half. I'd have to say it's not reflected on the scoreboard, but a lot of their basic play is a lot better than they had in the first
Well, they
half.
haven't- they turned
There's a
over-
mistake there by Waimea, though, and here's an opportunity with the scrum, and it'll be in a good position for them to go either way, really. Might have a look at the blind, Scott.
Yes, the big wide blind coming this way, just an injury break. But they haven't given away the penalties that they did in the first half, St Thomas's, and that was good.
Yep.
And they haven't made the basic mistakes that they made, and they've treasured the ball a wee bit more in the
Forwards have
second
looked a
half.
better unit.
But in saying that,
There it is. That's what the truth of the matter is. 26 points to 11 on a lovely scoreboard here at St Thomas's. There's the ball. They do go the open side, though. They decide that that's where the numbers are, and that's what they'll do. A lovely breakthrough, involving the fullback again, bringing him forward. Nicely delivered ball, too, and he's a danger man, Bradley Robertson. He's looked good today. They wouldn't want to slow this down too much. I think they want to keep stretching Waimea if they can. One out, one up. It's all about maintaining possession. They've done just that. They weren't doing this in the first half at all. They were giving Waimea an armchair ride. So that's an improvement. Now they come to the backs and they decide to open it up. Nice little pass there too. And it's beautifully taken one-handed there by the fullbacks. Done well. Clever player. And to ground they go. They can't be far now from the line. Perhaps 4 out. And holding the ball up. They want this as a maul if they can, Waimea. But they've gone to ground now. And St Thomas is eager to get this ball, and the referee says, well done, Waimea.
and they were going forward, but they just held them up for long enough. And that's a huge result from Waimea right on their goal line. And if they get a chance to clear this, they may have just dodged a bullet there, Pete. Just body position, just a wee bit too high by St Thomas, which is allowed.
They'd played pretty well to get down there, though,
Wide,
hadn't they?
yes.
They'd involved the fullback twice, and he took a one-handed pass, which was great. Just stuck the arm out and got it.
Tui Lafua, he does like to get involved, doesn't he?
Do you think he's a fullback, Scott?
Well,
I
I mean, it's
just
hard,
wonder.
Pete.
I'd like to see him a bit closer to the action.
Yeah, we talk about what's happened in the Press Cup. This concertina, you know, you've got to arrive at every game with your A game and your A team. Otherwise, if you take any team for granted, you know, especially if you're playing away at Ashburton or playing away from home, local conditions come into play, and the competition has levelled up substantially since the Press Cup started.
Good pressure scrum here by St Thomas's. Waimea will win it, but it was a little bit back foot. That danger stuff there,
I think
too.
I may have been tempted to clear the ball a bit quicker, Pete. I know the pass wasn't flash.
Well, it was pressure put on by the St Thomas's scrum, though, and they dive through towards the line, and who's got the ball? The referee's right there.
Just short.
Passes around to have a look. And there's real heat going on here, Waimea, I tell you. St Thomas want to score the try, and they've now got the ball, and that's so important. Tip-up tackle made there, but come back nicely to St Thomas's. Head down, burrowing forward is the player 18, and that's... Now, clear it wider, will they? Yes, they are. They're seeking a hole. There looks to be a gap wide, and it's just been let down. And a boy who's played pretty well today, Bradley Robertson. I think he might have got a bit excited. There was so much open space in front of him.
Yet again, the idea was terrific. He just doubled around the second five, the Moresby Pasetta, and it just did open up, but the pass wasn't good either, was it, though? That was the only problem. The pass was inaccurate. It just did float. He just floated it, and instead of actually passing the ball, he just sort of floated.
He virtually only had to give it to him.
He had to come either a wee bit closer, or the pass had to be made with some more power. At the end of the day, it was just a wee flip, but it certainly had opened up. So, as we say, the idea is we see a new player there on from Waimea, number 20, Tyler Power, and he looks
halfback, is he?
he's coming to halfback to replace Liam Neal.
Yes, I think that look at the big green space upset him a wee bit. But it wasn't a great pass.
There's been a few players just guilty of having a wee look today, just having a wee look up and seeing the opposition coming.
Power feeds his first scrum. Let's have a look at his pass. Yeah, not bad. Gets it back okay. But this is really where they should have done that movement to go. was to clear the ball, and they get a lucky bounce to go into touch there, so that's taken a wee bit of heat off
Yeah,
them.
they've defended well though, Waimea, haven't they? In the last 3 or 4 minutes, Pete, they've really, as you said, had the heat put on them by St Thomas's, and they've gone oh so close, but you know they haven't scored any points, St Thomas's, and they find themselves back outside the Waimea 22. You'd have to say we advantage there to Waimea.
And St Thomas will be aware, of course, that Waimea will be wanting to attack because they'll want the fourth try, and whether that's when mistakes come and they can capitalise on that. But at the moment, they've defended well enough, Waimea, and they've done very well. Don't forget the text competition. Get into it. Malibu is the key word. All you got to do is text that through, and you'll be in to win a Black Bulls prize pack. Now, they look good doing this. It's that final pass or two that they've really got to watch. 26-11 the score at the moment, but St Thomas is hot on attack, and they've got the ball again. They weren't doing that in the first half. They are in the second. They've picked that up. They'll be pleased with that. Kirk just having a wee look as to what to do there. Wasn't too sure at first 5'8", so he's probably safer to go in amongst his mates who wear the lower numbers, the forwards. And now they'll muscle this. The ball's been held up here, and they've done well. Waimea now to ground. What will the ref rule here?
They're going to have to
Having
clear
a close
it.
look.
Lots of bodies in the way, Pete, but they do clear it.
They get it out okay. Wide they come this time. There's the fullback, Danger Man. Every time he touches the ball, he throws a shot.
No, he didn't, Pete, to be perfect last. I think the opportunity was there to Robert Wilson. And
You're blaming the winger now.
No,
Not like you.
I thought
We'll
the
watch it on
pass
the
was
replay.
there
Who's
to be
guilty?
taken, but there was a big gap out wide, and Tuilafua, he just saw it out wide and cleared it.
Made a lovely wee
Quick
gap,
they
though,
were.
didn't
He created good space for himself here,
There he is.
running onto the pass. And I just didn't think, went outside the man, unselfishly passed it. I think the ball was there to be taken, Pete. You can't get it much further
No.
than your chest, you'd have to say.
I think Beattie put the hands on the head and thought, crikey, yeah, I could have done more with that. However,
I think you'll find Robert Wilson was looking for his second try of the day, and he may have just had a wee look as well, and just thought, this is pretty easy, this game. But yet again, a try-scoring opportunity went a begging for St Thomas's, and Waimea hold on just again.
time ticking away now too. Remember, they only play 35s. Been a much improved performance in the second half. The game's raised
Well,
its
it
standard.
has. Almost as if they were going through the motions of the first. Now they realise
They were feeling their way, I
The
think,
2014 season is here and started, and let's get into it.
So they have.
So Power clears the ball away, dipping ball, just a lob kick over, may have given him a bit more, but he picks it up brilliantly. And now an opportunity. They like to flow this ball a little bit wider now, don't they? They're looking for the in-pass. They find the in-pass, and that's Power, the halfback. And he's kept up with the ball well, and just robbed there. Advantage being played by the referee to St Thomas's. Downfield they go. Nicely taken at the back there too.
Bethelson, and that was a lovely wee kick before wee chip, and he put his on the line. That was as that one drifts out on the full, and they come back. But it's not easy to do a wee chip kick, a defensive kick in front of your posts. Takes a lot of gumption. If it doesn't come off, you look pretty silly. But in his case, he read it well.
I don't think there's much time left, Scott. I'm just checking the clock there. I don't think there's a great deal in it. They've done the 30 minutes, I'm told, and of course they play 35s. Got an injury break here, so the clock will stop. But overall a much improved
Yeah, it
performance
has.
in
It's
the
been
second half.
more entertaining
Yes,
the
it
second
has.
half, hasn't it? Not just because we've had
Tries.
but the standard of play is lifted considerably.
St Thomas will come back at them. So a line out throw to St Thomas is taken down nicely too. Good two-handed take. Going high. Ball down. Free signals a two-handed take. Got to be back, boys. Now a chance to break from the base. And that's Redburn. And they've just mucked it up there a little bit, St Thomas's. They'll be cross with that.
No,
I think it was Tyler Good who just broke, and he just didn't have much support around him, did he? And went to ground, and of course you've just the players your supporters play just has to be that much closer to the ball. Otherwise, an inch and you're giving the opposition a chance to get their hands on it or to claim possession.
So I don't know whether Waimea perhaps thought, well, listen, we'll just play the clock here now. or not? I'm not quite sure.
No, I
So
think
they're a long way from the try line,
yeah,
Scott, aren't they?
as I say, Pete, at this stage, I don't really think, unless the opportunity presents itself
Would have to be
closer to
broken
the
play,
line.
wouldn't it?
Yep.
Someone would have to screen through the middle or something.
I think
They'll grind it
they're
out.
going to satisfy themselves with taking the 4 points. We've lost
Sure,
the ball.
the
Well,
ball,
one
it's
ball
gone
went
over
over
the
the fence,
fence,
and
yeah.
as you said before, we don't seem the days of ball boys and whatever.
Having 3 or 4 balls around the paddock. Not there.
That's right. They warm up with about 50 balls per team, but they can only seem to find one when the game seems to
Now,
start.
if you go across to the fence there, guys, it's not a bad shot to see a bloke going over the fence to get the ball. Obviously, the neighbours are not home.
Well, you hope
So he's
they're not.
disappeared, or the guard dog's loose. If he comes flying back over with no trousers on, we'll know that the
There-
dog's there.
well, the
We've
ball's
got the
come-
ball.
the ball's
Don't
come
worry about him. Right, we're back now. Oh, they found another ball now, but it's a bit late, my boy. Yeah.
Make sure you're 10 blue.
There's probably one left over there from last season as well.
Unless that great big dog's eating it. Rottweiler. Right, back with the action. This is where we watch Waimea now. They're just a nice little double round there too. And they've made some good ground here. Ball held up though. He's got to get it down if he can. He does. So waiting for it is Power. Just lifting the bodies out of the road so
Yeah,
they can get to it. And no, they're going to give the ball to St Thomas's. Bit of support here for Waimea down here at St Thomas Canterbury. 26-11 it is, remember. Remember, get in for the Black Horse prize pack. All you got to do is text. Malibu is the word of the week. It'll change every week and there'll be a prize pack given every week.
How do you spell Malibu, Pete?
M-A-L-I-B-U.
Just when I text in my entry, that was all.
Well done, SCM.
Yep.
Yep. Considering you haven't got a cell phone, you'll find that somewhat difficult. Never mind. Old-fashioned co-commentator, yep. And that's a bit of an old-fashioned sort of scrum.
Yeah,
really.
well, scrums have been excellent all
Yeah,
day, haven't
yeah,
they?
they have.
We commented on them and the system they're using, and it was working. And it's just, I guess it's a bit of change of personnel in the front row of each side, but no, scrums have been good. In fact, set play by both teams have been
Very good.
pretty
Yep.
accurate. We've had that one tight head earlier on that Waimea secured. And
The odd cough up in the line-out, but that's more from the throwing than anything else.
Scrum again.
Scrums have been good, as you say. Very few collapse ones. So we're counting down now. Might be 2-3 minutes to go. So I think we might run out at 26-11. Unless there's a freakish piece of play.
Bind. Sit.
So that's the call though. Now the tap on the halfback. Trapped at the back, released. No, he decides to go on his own. Does Tyler Good. And a good move too. He's still going. Strong lad. Plays it back, referee's arms out. So advantage being played to St Thomas. Can they get an advantage? And it looks like they will. There's a big gap open up. Who's on the inside?
Yeah,
Puff? It's the fullback. You can put money on that.
Talafua,
He's done well.
and he's deserved that
Yeah,
try. He's
he's
been in the play
played all day.
all the time, and it was well played by Harry Kirk as well. He drifted them wide, and then Talafua was just on the inside, and the gap wasn't covered by Waimea. Their cover defence wasn't quick enough to get out there, and as you'll see, Kirk
Kirk
did
had a
well.
long way to run,
he's
didn't he? He was allowed to.
he's got good speed and got outside his man, and Talafua was on the inside looking for that support play, and justice that he should score St Thomas's second try
Played
of the
very well,
afternoon.
hasn't he?
Well,
He's stuck to it all
he's
day.
want to get involved, and
We wonder about his position, where he should play. I'd quite like to see him at second 5 or something, I think. Might be able to just bust it up.
But it might be
Because a lot of the action at this level comes close in, doesn't it?
it does a wee bit, and they might be dictated by their injuries. They might not have
Nice kick
sufficient,
too.
and he's converted his own try.
Well done. That's the full-time whistle, I think, isn't it?
Not yet. No, there's still time to go. So at 26-18.
Conclusion of this game, we'll be back with the player of the day and a wrap and to let you know where we're off to. So 3 minutes to go. We've just had the call from the TJ on the sideline. So that will be pretty much official. And we'll tell you where we're off to next week. Oh,
Just
looky,
had
looky.
aware, that's right,
Looky,
and-
looky.
Yeah,
Fatal mistake, scrum, uses up time.
just a bit keen.
Here's your mark.
We're St Thomas is on that, and here's a bit of evidence of
Yeah,
this pace of
crap
this
coming
game.
around.
Players from both sides are down. We see here at the try scorer, Trent Inch. He's just struggling with cramp. Bradley Robinson on the far side for St Thomas's. He was just the early season.
Get that ball back, come on, boys. Crutch.
So they're restored to health anyway, and it's a scrum, and it'll be Tyler Power to feed, replacement halfback on for Waimea. Dipping ball, but nicely taken too. And we cut back on the inside there. And they're getting over the ball. They've lost it here. They've gifted it to St Thomas's. Although it's a bit hard. Another player down for St Thomas's, and he's really, I think, in a bit of bother with
I think it's
cramp,
Bradley
nothing else.
Robinson again,
Yeah,
who went
cramp.
down just
Yep.
earlier.
And they're one short in the back line.
This
and
is interesting because
stretching things a bit here.
this is Waimea's chance possibly to
Pasetta.
capitalise.
Out wide.
Out to Robert Wilson.
Good tackle. Chopped down. Well done by Woodley. Willie, he did very well there. Tackle that had to be made when he got to the ankles. Yeah, who's got the ball though? St Thomas has still got it. Up in the air goes Redburn. Well, allowed to bounce now. This is trouble. And nicely taken there too by Wilson. And he's in touch though. Come all the way back. Sorry, lads.
And also a good covering.
And that will do. Full time. So, fascinating. Well, an interesting competition game. It's a pipe opener, of course, and to see 3 tries scored by Waimea. They were stung, of course, in the first half by an early try to St Thomas's. They came back with another one, but they've taken it out. Have the visitors. It'll be a nice bus ride through the Lewis Pass. Back home to Waimea. 26 points to 18. First blood goes to the visiting side against St Thomas's.
I'm here with Trent Inch, the blindside flanker for Waimea today, our player of the day. Good win for Waimea, Trent.
Yes, it was good to get the season off with a win here away as well on their home ground, so boys will be happy with that.
I believe that's Waimea's first victory down here at St Thomas's.
Yeah, it's good to finally take that one off and gives us a good boost into the rest of the season here.
When was the last time you scored a brace of tries in a game?
Oh, it's been a while actually. Yeah, I haven't kitted up for a while, so this is my first season, so it feels good to start the season off with a few tries.
So you're year 12 boy, so you got another year in the first 15?
Yeah, hopefully, just keep ticking along and hopefully can give it a crack next year and
And Waimea, rugby at Waimea's in good heart?
Yes, yep. Full of passion and pride, so boys love it, and we're a good family and the whole team there.
Good. It's a good start to the season. 4 points. Next week, who have you got?
We got Burnside at home, so we have to, we'll get up for that game as well. Nothing like a back-to-back.
Well, it'd be lovely to start off the season with 2 wins anyway, wouldn't
yes,
it? I'd
yeah,
have to
it should
say.
be
Trent, we can't give you anything, but your name does go into a draw at the end of the season with all the players of the day, and we'll draw out and give them a prize back. But congratulations, you're our player of the day today.
Thank you, that's good, thanks.
Well done.
26-18 was the final score. The visitors winning. Don't forget the Black Wolves prize pack. All you have to do, Malibu is the key word. Text it to 2326 and the texts will cost you 20 cents. Well, great game here. Played in perfect conditions. But Scotty, big one next week. St Bede's, always tough, and they host Nelson College.
Real grudge match, Pete. Last year, Nelson surprisingly beat St Bede's in the semi-final at St Bede's. Now, they won't have forgotten that. So, a game really looking forward to.
Make sure you're tuned, and we'll be back with Press Cup 2014. And thanks to all involved. We'll see you next week, coming to you from St Bede's.